this project work. So we're about to go into a breakout. We're going to put everybody back into their teams. And of course, in the breakout, you'll want to identify a scribe and a spokesperson. And we're going to give you 4 key questions. You saw my video yesterday. You should have seen these slides already. So this is a review. And these questions come directly from people who've been before the executive panel. And these are questions that the panel has asked in the past. They may ask these, they may not, but we know that these questions really direct us forward with our project and really give us some depth in clarifying and offering a point of ideation for our projects. And what we're going to ask you to do is answer these 4 questions, come back in, and we're going to do something similar to what we did last time and ask you to do a presentation for about 5 minutes. There we go. Do a presentation for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to do something a little different. But the order this time will be, we're going to start with the accelerators, go to the mind blowers, and then we'll finish with the differentiators. So like I said, we're going to focus on 4 key questions that we know that the executive panel has asked in the past. And so as we look at this, what we want to be focusing on, let me bring up there we go, is remember this is a live and in-person presentation. It's going to take about 20 minutes for the actual presentation, but for our 4 questions today, how have you clarified your project since the last meeting? I know we've had a really in-depth conversation about projects last meeting, and how have you clarified it and how have you moved it forward? Does this project, this is going to be a key question, reflect innovation or an improvement? So when we talk about innovation, is this something that is creative and adds value to the organization? Or is this an improvement of something we are refining in order to add value to the organization? Both of which are fine. But what we really are looking for is to relook the box where you are and how can we see that differently in order to reinforce that digital #1 principle across Vodafone. So we also want to know, and these are basic questions, but these are going to be key questions you'll probably be asked. Is the project feasible? Is it a concept or something that can really be done? This is something that's really important to the executive panel. They want to know, is this something you've been thinking about, or is this something we can go do? And if it's something we're thinking about, how can we translate that into greater value? If it's something we can do, how might we get started? And that goes into the product's value proposition. Will it increase revenue? Will it provide a better customer experience? Will it enhance the engagement of our employees? What is the product's value proposition? And so why would we want to adopt this concept and move it forward? Why would we want to adopt this project and get it started? So what is the value proposition? So those are the 4 questions we're going to ask you to consider when you go into breakout and to discuss with us when you come back in the room. Any questions about the questions?
No, I believe they are clear.
Oh, thanks, Aman. I'm sorry, Amar? Okay. So we're going to do this in a little bit different way than we did last time, just to add a little more depth and also to look at how we see projects a little differently. And what I'm going to ask is that when we come back in, the presenting group will be A. Group B, okay, Group B will listen and ask for questions like the sharks. So they're really trying to find out what this is all about. But Group C is going to listen and provide support for the idea. So what's really good about this idea? What do we want to take into this idea? And in this way, the presenting group sees both a positive and the developmental side of their project. And you can see some different perspectives of your project from different views and from different groups. So Group A is going to present. Group B is going to act like the sharks. So listen really closely for that business side and that leadership side. And group C is going to say, yeah, but here are the positives of what I'm hearing. And here are the positives of how this project could really help Vodafone. Every group is going to go through this. And after we've gone through group A presenting, group B being the sharks, group C being the positives, group A then says, this is what we learned. So in that way, we go through an entire cycle of learning for presentation, different perspectives, positive perspectives, and then what we learn. So that's what we're going to do when we come back in. We're going to go into breakouts right now, and we'll have 30 minutes in breakouts. So we'll probably go to 15 after the hour, 15 after the hour. And when you come back, we will need you to please prepare slides. If you need slides, we can send them to you, or you can build on the slides that we had last time. So before we go into breakouts, any questions about what we're doing or what we'll need to present when we come back? I think we're ready. Oops, sorry, go ahead. You have a question?
So just for clarifying and make sure that I'm understanding well, so the presentation that we're going to do now is including the answer for 4 questions.
Yes.
Already...
Yes, okay. And please have those on slides if you could, Tamar.
Yes, including in one slide.
Okay. Then Irina, I think we're ready. Let's send us into our breakouts. And
yes, just give me a moment and I'm sending everyone.
Okay. All right, looks like everybody's in the breakouts. Let me get my sequence together. Looks like we had 8 participants, Irina. Looking good, awesome. And do we have I'm not sure we have everyone yet, Irina. I am counting a few. Do we have anybody in the waiting room? There we go. There we go. That's who we're waiting. Okay, Omar's here. Awesome. I see Yunus, Garhi, Amar, Motaz, Tamer. Awesome. This is great. So as we get started, because what we'll do is each team's roughly going to have 5 minutes to present. And then we'll have the sharks come in and give them some perspective. And then we'll have the positives come in and give them some perspective as well. And you can see the way that we'll do this is the first presenters will be the accelerators. So that's going to be Amar, Tamer, and Motaz. The sharks are going to be the mind blowers. So that will be Islam, Iman, and Amir. And then the positives and enablers are going to be the differentiators. So Omar, Yunus, and Mohammed. I'm going to stop sharing and ask for our friends, the accelerators, to go ahead and bring their slide up. It should have
Tamer, can you start, please?
So accelerators, we've got Amer, Tamer, Motaz.
Yes, Tamer, please can, because he prepared the slide.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
Just
and you see the share screen at the bottom of this. Yeah.
Just I'm sending it from the laptop to the mobile to Bluetooth.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That's always a challenge. Absolutely. Especially when the mobile is on WhatsApp or one of the other apps, and then you have to drop it into there and bring it up. Yeah.
And connecting to Zoom through the mobile as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I was joking with Arena. We were in a class earlier this morning and I was using WebEx training, which is a very robust program, and shut my computer down in the middle of the class. It was exciting. So Tamara, whenever you're ready. Or if another member of your team wants to go ahead and start, that's fine too. And just start the audio, that's fine. There we go. It's coming up now. Thank you.
So can you see everything on the screen?
We can see your, I think that's your mobile screen.
Yes.
Perfect.
I'm not expert in sharing documents on Zoom meeting. I have some,
yeah, you're
some
doing
bad
good.
cases in this.
You're doing very well, Tamara. I'll tell you, you're doing better than I would. And I really appreciate you working through that. So mind blowers, are the sharks ready, and differentiators, you're ready? If you want to give me a thumbs up, we will start with the accelerators.
Okay, so we'll start with accelerators. Our idea or clarification of the project. It's about one single application that all Vodafone employees can use, including all business items and non-business items for them that they are using during the daily activities. Some examples for the business side, including all projects that the team working on. So once you are in a team or sharing a project with one of your teams, so you can have all the updates of the project through the application. No need to call anybody to know what's next step or to know or to submit your part in the project. So once you add your part or your delivery in the application, so everybody in the team can see the milestone or can see what the project is doing. Again, all communication updates for the team, like the goals, any updates in the goals. For example, for the sales teams, you can see all the figures and what's needed for the daily target and everything related to the business side. So because I'm in the sales team, so I'm receiving around 10 to 15 mails daily about the commission, about the sales targets and daily target and whatever, and market share and all everything. So once we have the application, so I can collect all the needed documents and all the needed updates through the application. Another some examples for non-business issues using the application. It's including all the facilities and benefits I can get as an Vodafone employee from the company, including the fleet schedule, including anything related to workforce optimization or scheduling or something like that. Again, it will be embedded for all used applications that the employee use during the day. Can have non-business application like the application we are using in our daily activities, like ordering food or reserving a tickets in any place or something like that. This is related to the clarification of the project. Question 2, does the project affect innovation or improvements? We agreed it's an improvement side because some of the ideas that could be included in the application already exist, but it's very you can have a difficult headache to reach all what you need through different sources. So it's an improvement issue to unify all what you need in one single button. According to this, is it feasible or not? I guess it's feasible because the visibility of the project is available. Only needs to be all systems talking to each other. Like once you are using IoT or things, so any system can talk to other system and be reflected in the application. We have here an example. Like Mu'taz said, if I have a meeting with Mu'taz and I don't know where is Mu'taz, or is he working from home, or he's inside the building, I don't know. So once he is in the building and using his ID to enter the building, so the gates system can talk to the application and shows that Mu'taz in building C2, for example. So it's only a compatibility between systems. That's just an example. Again, for question 4, I'm sorry I didn't change the question 4. It's question 4 as a value-adding proposition for the project. So it's it's among the value-added proposition of this application. It's connecting the company departments, so departments are connected, not working as silos. So it's reaching more harmony. I save effort and time, so no need to search for your stuff in any other ways. So it's one single aspect you can find all what you need. And again, it's engagement between teams. Even inside one team, you can have more engagement within your team. I guess that's all for this.
So just to clarify, the last Q3 is actually question 4 about the value of the project.
I just forget to change it.
Sure.
About the
Sure.
value adding proposition.
And incidentally, it was very helpful when you enlarged it. You see me moving forward just to make sure that I can read it. Perfect.
Really, you're seeing the enlargement, yes. So you can see it's different answer, not the same answer of question 3.
There we go. No, thank you very much for that. And so I'm going to turn it over to the mind blowers. That in brief took about 4 minutes. Okay. So mind blowers, what do you think? And welcome your questions.
I hear someone is talking. I'm not sure if this is just noise.
I think it's just background noise because everyone else is
Okay.
muted. So if you wanted to go ahead, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, okay. I'll take the shark side and ask some questions. The first maybe will be
why Ayman? We're friends, why?
I have to.
And we do this with love. We do this with love. Yeah, absolutely. But hey, it's just to make the projects better. So thanks, Simon. I know it's tough, but it's also very helpful.
Okay. I'll ask if there any estimate about the budget and time estimate for delivering the project, and would it be implemented internally by inside the company, or will be outsourced to external company?
I can go for the answer to this. I guess in our technology team, they are capable of doing it in-house because we use the capability of the team to do so many projects in-house, like the team system in our stores. So we used to have a vendor that cost us a lot of money, but now our team, one of our colleagues called Chawi, is inventing a new team system and it's developed in-house. So I guess our team is capable enough to do such an application. About the time needed and the costs, I guess it's the cost is. I don't have an estimation for the cost, but I guess it will be not that much to just not to prevent us from going on air using the application. And for the time, I guess it's once we need to include in the application. So we will have a dry run for first, or a pilot phase to include our business items in one application. And I guess the time will not be that much. I guess it's for one quarter you can have it on air.
Okay, great. Another question would be who will be the business owner for this digital platform, and who will set the priorities?
Great question. Great question.
I guess the team who's handling Vodafone application or Vodafone app now can be the team who owns this application. It's sort of Vodafone app, but it's not only for reviewing your bills and reviewing your services on your line. It's same business of developing an app and adding items on it.
I understand. Okay. Yeah, I understand. For example, مثلا current Vodafone's app for employees. I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe the HR, for example, is the business owner for it, not the digital channels or digital marketing. So I believe this will be a bit similar to, it's like benefits and digital platform. So I'm not sure digital marketing or HR will be more close to own it.
Maybe the HR can own it, but the digital team will be responsible
just
for editing, for example.
Can we just go and support in this, or we just wait for our turn? Just a question.
Eunice, we're gonna hold on yours for just a second, and we'll finish up with Ayman, and then we'll move to you. Okay?
Okay, no worries. All right.
So I was talking about the ownership of the project. It can be
Yep.
The HR team. Yes, it's something related to the employees, and I'm agree it's HR team responsibility and ownership. But the digital team will be responsible for the editing and the content and embedded the whole applications that we agreed on to be including this application. So it will be a shared responsibility, but the ownership goes for its HR.
Okay, great.
No, excellent. And we got time for one more question from the mind blowers. One more question or thought.
I would be pro the idea, or should I be a shark?
Shark بقى أمير.
Shark? Nah, I have no objection for the idea. I like it very much, especially the part, right? No, I like it. I like it, Clemson.
No, thank you, Amir. We're going to come back to that in just a minute. And Amar, did you have a comment? Excuse me. Okay, I thought I heard Amar on there as well. So as we look at some of those really good questions, really appreciate that idea about the business owner. Everyone on this call knows you're going to get asked that question. So who will, carry out this really robust, if really needed project? And now let's hear from the differentiators, and let's talk about the positives of this and what are some things that you saw or you heard as you listened to the accelerators earlier.
Okay, I can start. I think it's a very good idea, especially that if I'm talking to about the Vodafone world currently, we are looking after, there will be something in the future that has to do with limiting our accesses towards our emails, attachments, and a lot of the stuff that we are using in the day-to-day operation when it comes to our laptops or through our mobile. And they were thinking of having or developing a portal or an application that is user access friendly, that we can all use together and instead of the emails, especially when it comes to things that has to, that includes customer data or complaints or anything like this. So application like this or tool like this will ease the communication across the entire company. The other part that I wanted to intervene when we were talking about who will be the ownership or the ownership where it will be completely in IT to ensure the support and the continuous development of this tool, since that it's all based on connecting a lot of applications together in one on one platform. And however, from content perspective, it can be through different teams. So as an app, it's IT completely, but content can be across the company, depends on the content itself.
Yeah, and one of my questions was going to be to that point, Eunice, that idea of business owner and everything is, and this is for Tamer, is your idea about bringing these things together. Will it just bring together and open APIs and gateways to what is already there? Or are you envisioning creating an entirely new ecosystem of programs, kind of like D365 or something of that nature, across the entire organization to support it internally? What were your thoughts about that?
I think it will be both, because some of the items that already exist in other applications, so we have to collect them together and bring them in the application, and we have to invent new things to collect. For example, if we are talking about one project that the team is working on, so we have to create a portal or something like what Yunus said, It's an entire new thing to collect updates of the project, to collect the feedback of each of the stakeholders. So it will go for both, for just collecting existing application and inventing other things to collect what people is working on.
Okay, no, that's helpful because you know the price differential of doing each one and trying to balance bringing them together and everything could be a challenge as well. I'm involved with that with another organization right now, and they did exactly what you were talking about, and they're working through those challenges right now. Is getting these two systems to talk to each other. So I can guess that's another question that you might get as well. All right, and I'd just like to share one quick story about the importance of having this type of program where everybody can have access internally and that you can meet customer needs. I was in South Africa. I was robbed in South Africa. They took everything that was in my wallet. It included all of my credit cards, et cetera. And I work with a bank in the United States called USAA. I called the emergency services. I gave them my phone number, and that's really all they needed. They knew my name. They knew where I was. I said, hey, I just got robbed. I really need you to cancel all my cards and everything. And the first thing they said, the first thing was, are you in a safe place and are you okay? And I was really stunned by that. And I'm like, yes, well, thank you for asking. I mean, it really, to this day, it makes me feel good that they really, and he was very serious. And they said, do you need us to call the police for you? And of course, I'm a researcher. So instead of saying yes or no, I go, well, you can call the police in South Africa? And he goes, well, yes, we have their number right here. And we noticed that you're in the Sandton area and we can get the local private police there as well. And they did that for me. I couldn't do it. And this is in the 30 seconds, the first 30 seconds of the call. And then they knew everything about all of my accounts. They knew where they were. They were able to cancel my credit card immediately. Nothing was ever charged on it. And they knew everything about me. And it wasn't the normal account process. This was the emergency services. And that is the power of having that type of omnichannel system where everything comes together. So it's very, very valuable to customers. And you can think about how that could help somebody inside the organization who's working with a customer. Very, very powerful system. So I think that your initiative is spot on. And just know that you're going to get those questions of business owner, cost, complexity, and then ownership going forward. So, hey, I want to thank the accelerators for getting us going with a terrific start. Thank you very much for both groups. And let's move to the mind blowers. Mind blowers, you are up. So if you want to share your screen.
I'll share it now.
Sure. And mind blowers are going to be the presenters. The differentiators are gonna be the sharks, and the accelerators will be the positives. Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you. And whenever you're ready, mind blowers.
Yeah, I'm ready now. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm ready. Should we start now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, our project mainly it's about providing omni-channel experience for the customers.
Uh-oh. Can anyone else hear Ayman?
No. I can.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I was on mute.
Okay.
The project is mainly to provide omni customer experience for our customers, to provide a seamless customer experience across all physical and online channels, and transform from current multi-channel experience to omni-channel experience. The business importance of the project is harnessing the power of digital technology to rethink every aspect of the organization and put digital into the whole value chain. This way, we are going to boost the customer experience and provide the competitive edge and reducing the churn rate. In addition, we will reduce more or introduce more cost efficiency in the organization. Sure. The desired outcome of the project goes in 3 main pillars. The first one, it's all about customer experience. We'll enhance the customer experience, provide the customers with predictive care experience across all channels. The whole customer history and transactions will be available to the agents over the phone or retail rooms and on all channels. Our assistants or agents will be able to provide advisory for the customer in terms of best tariffs that suits his usage, his balance dispute problems. This is the first pillar. For the second pillar, in terms of revenue generation, we are linking all channels together. For example, we are linking the eShop cart with the retail agents. The customer, while being in the retail queue, we are going to target him with the contextual upselling or digital assistance and ensure that he can finish all what he needs by using a digital self-services instead of waiting for the queue. Detect the customer browsing patterns, for example, on Vodafone eShop, and provide contextual offerings to him. And on the third pillar, we are the cost reduction. We are going to have robots or digital assistants or digital workforce to help the customer. So from one side, they are going to provide better experience, in more quick and accurate way. And on the other side, we are going to offload the workload from our agents, customer care and retail agents. For the reflection of these projects, whether it's in innovation or improvement, we believe this is a true innovation project. It's not just an incremental improvement. For the feasibility, we believe it's feasible. We are just going to build some technical enablers and enhance our digital channels and physical channels as well. And that's it. I mentioned the value proposition. Mainly it's for the customer experience and revenue generation and cost reduction.
Yeah, and thank you very much for the overview. Any last comments before we go to the differentiator? All right, then let's go to Omar, Yunus, Mohammed. You're the Sharks. And there we go, Yunus.
I can start. Yeah, I think it's a very good idea, but from feasibility and implementation perspective, because we've been trying to have such a kind of concept from big data and its implementation. So 2 things were challenging at this point. The first one is we will need a huge amount of capex that needs to be embedded in this to have this live, because you will be in need for a lot of servers, a lot of AI technology that collect such a kind of massive data and crunch it together to have a realistic view. So do you have any idea or any sizing? How much would this cost the company, and what would be the ROI on this?
Okay, actually the AI or the machine learning part and big data, it's not the core of the project. Maybe it's some use cases, minor use cases that would add more functionality. However, the core of the project is the basic technologies, just linking all the channels we have together and having a centralized catalog, having a centralized customer experience, and all channels, instead of being in isolated mode, to be integrated together by exposing some APIs and exposing the same back end and same catalog for the customer, and targeting the customer in different channels. And for example, we have currently a lot of contextual products and campaigns. We are just need to integrate them together and provide a seamless experience. However, the part of advanced machine learning or big data, this is a bit extreme part. It may be useful for 1 or 2 use cases, but not in the core of the project.
All right.
So you were going to set up the project and then do the AI background data and functionality, is that correct?
Yeah, and for example, for the part of detecting the customer in the retail stores, or for example, some experiences like order online and pick on the store, all of these use cases, at least 80% of the use cases they don't have any AI relationship. It's just a basic technologies that we may have already on ground, but it's scattered. We just need to combine all this together and providing a seamless and unified experience across all channels. And for example, maybe a customer now can receive one service on one channel, but it's not existing on the other. For example, for the chatbot, you may find the chatbot on the website, but you will not find it somewhere else. You need to provide all services that we may have currently on one channel to be available across all channels. Currently, we are targeting the customer, for example, by contextual campaigns when he make the first usage. And for example, currently we have already on ground now, if you make the first social data usage, we started the day, and when you make a Facebook, your first Facebook traffic or YouTube traffic, for example, we push on the customer campaigns asking him that we have, for example, a social data bundle. If you like to subscribe, press 1. So we already have this kind of campaigns. What we need to do is to link all this together and link this, for example, when you visit the retail store. One more example as well, currently when the customer enters the physical store, we don't know much information about the customer. We don't provide him anything during the queuing or the waiting time. So we need to integrate this with our campaigns. One more example is the eShop. Currently the eShop, we don't know the identity of the customer, or we don't use it. And a customer over the eShop, just he's browsing the products, and he may order one product, or he may abandon the journey and terminate the session. I need to link the identity of the customer over our eShop and e-commerce system with the back-end systems used for campaigns and contextual products.
So there's no click capture or URL capture as somebody is walking through a website.
Yes.
Is that correct? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful.
That's why, as I mentioned, big data and AI is not at all part of the core of the project. It may add more functionality and more experience for sure, but it's not the core.
Okay, so the machine learning is more a code-based API?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Integration. It's more about integrations and API integrations and back-end design to be unified and serve all channels instead of having back-end for digital and back-end for retail stores and so on.
I got you. Okay. And differentiators, any other questions for the mind blowers?
Ayman, I heard about the omni-channel idea and concept from more than 5-6 years ago during in the customer experience period. So, and it was a very big thing, and it was never done. I don't know the reason why. Is it complexity? Is it the cost at that time? So what's the difference now? This is the first question.
Okay.
The second question, is it in-house or you will get a vendor who's expert in the omni-channel to do this job?
Okay, yeah, good questions. For the first one, as you mentioned, frankly speaking, it's not very simple for sure. However, I believe the main reason it's sponsorship. Yeah, for example, if we talked some years ago about transforming into agile delivery without management sponsorship, we would never get it done. So I believe having sponsorship from the management to drive these things forward will be the change this time. For example, some activities started to take place already. And recently, the IT team, we launched book your an appointment in the retail store. It's already launched, I believe, last month. Now, from the mobile application, you can book in advance an appointment to go and visit the retail stores. Yeah, some activities can be, from technology perspective, no, for sure it's feasible and it's not a big hassle. It just need priority from the management, need focus and support, and it will be all done inside using our technical capabilities. Nothing will need vendor interaction.
All right. No, I love that. Nothing will need vendor interaction. That would be really.
Garhi, if you allow me.
Amir, please.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. One more thing about what the good question from Garhi. which two things. Number one thing is the need now for the customers has been totally changed. The era where when Garhi just mentioned 2 or 3 or even 5 years ago, we're still looking for the core services, minutes, mobile internet and stuff. So it was very basic to be provided by that advanced systems. For now, I think the need for extra stuff beyond the telecom, beyond the rate plans that the customer has in hand now, mobile internet, mobile handsets, new models of mobile and different new iPhones, new Samsung, new different things.
Smartphones.
All the smartphones. PCs, social media. The era now is totally different, which urges all of us to invest and get and capture the best that we can from the customers.
Absolutely.
Demand or need. This is first. Second thing, at this era also we had 1 or 2 channels which were the retail and customer care. But for now, we're having too many chatbots. We're having online shop. We're having chat, live chats. We're having the app. So having this together now is it's not that nice to have anymore. It's a crucial thing. So I hope this answered Garhi's question.
Yeah, it's gone from a nice to have to a need to have. So Amir,
exactly.
Thanks for that insight. And I'm going to cut you off right there because I want to really quick and get the accelerators. So positives, accelerators. So what did you hear, Amar, Tamar, and Motaz? Positives. And then we'll jump right to our last group of differentiators. So accelerators.
I assume that the positive part that that we are serving different channels for and caring for different channels for customers. So this is one of the points that I love in the project itself.
Yeah, the different channels is really powerful. So thanks for that, Motaz.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's different channels for AI, and it's different channels for the information that's coming in, and we've got to accommodate those. That's powerful. Motaz, thank you very much. And we're going to jump right to the differentiators because we want to give them some time. Short time left, differentiators. So if you would go ahead and show your slide. And thanks everybody for your energy this afternoon. This has been very, very helpful and informative for me. I hope it's been helpful for you as well. And differentiators, we're ready for your slides. So Omar, Yunus, and Garhi. And is somebody working on that?
we didn't agree who will present. يا رجاله حد جاهز؟
يلا يا باشا توكل على الله.
عمر بقى دورك يا عمر المره.
And while they're bringing that up, accelerators, you want to be ready, and then mind blowers, be ready to do some positives. So, Gary, do we have a slide that's going to come up?
Yes, I'm trying.
Okay. You know, it's interesting as they're bringing that slide up, what I'm hearing is the importance of sharing information, the importance of seamless access to data, both analytics and raw data, you know, across the entire corporate ecosystem, that everybody can have access to similar information and the power that that provides you to move inside the market. We've seen a couple of different options for doing that. They're not inexpensive. But when they're done and done well, the ROI can be exponential because of the analytics. So I think some of the projects we've heard so far have been very, very powerful and very important. Differentiators, any luck?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to share. I have problem sharing, so I'll do it now.
Okay. If you like, you can send me by WhatsApp. I can share it from my side.
ماشي هبعتها لك ايمن اللي مش عارف.
بعت على الواتساب.
And we might have a chance to just hear the differentiators, and when we come back next time, spend some time with the sharks and the positives and negatives. So any luck on bringing those slides up?
Coming now.
Okay.
It's the countdown.
I think we can start maybe talking about it until the slides are up.
I think that's a very good idea. Let's go ahead and do that, just so we know what the general idea of your project is and where it is right now.
Garhi, can you please go ahead?
Oh, there we go. Thanks, Aman.
Sure. Here it is. Okay. So in the clarification thing, we got it wrong. We were under the impression on what have we clarified more than the idea we presented before. So the idea we already presented it a couple of times ago. It's the one-stop shop for the SMEs, which is the biggest base in our enterprise segment.
Yep.
It is the biggest base in the enterprise in Egypt. The focus from the country and from Vodafone is the digital transformation. And the focus from the country on the SMEs is the first priority.
Mm-hmm.
So we have clarified the last period that we started narrowing down our project focus on the top real needs of the SMEs.
There we
which
go.
are matching, which will match what we can really offer and be of added value to this segment. So as clarified before in the last presentation, we will have a solution for any startup or an SME to help them have our services serving them in different departments, whether in the finance, in the HR, in the customer service, marketing and sales, in order to support these SMEs in the digital transformation era. Okay, this is for the first question. The second question, yes, this project reflects an innovation because it's something new. So we are doing. It's not an improvement. It's not something existing. It's an innovation. For the third question, yes, it's high level feasible, and it's now in the concept phase. And for the last question, yes, it will increase revenue rather than a better experience because it's a new whole service.
All right. Thank you very much, differentiators. Please keep the slide up so that we can reference that. And let's hear in the last few minutes from the accelerators from the sharks. And what are your thoughts about this one-stop shop for SMEs? So that would be Amar, Tamer, Motaz, your thoughts about a one-stop shop for SMEs.
Thank you guys, appreciate it. We know that you are supportive.
I'm trying, wallahi, I'm trying.
Yunus, I want you on my panel. Okay, I mean, it's very helpful, and I appreciate that. Not only is it supported, but ideas about that from so from the accelerators. Ahmed, Tamer, Motaz, thoughts about the one-stop shop for SMEs.
I guess maybe the barrier for this idea is the different types of SMEs that we have in Egypt, because here SMEs is not it's not unified. Yeah, a lot of business, a lot of private business. It's not unified in one queue. I guess it would be a challenge for this. Maybe I'm not sure I'm right or not, but it's different kind of business. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm not clear.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely, Tamer.
Can I pick this question?
Go ahead.
Okay, it's a very good question. I think Ayman, right?
Tamer.
Tamer.
Okay, Tamer. All right. So basically, what we are looking after is a kind of a catalog that can fit one size fits for all. So what we are thinking is a bit of generic ideas about what exactly the SMEs might need not from their core business as in depth, but the high level from infrastructure to having their day-to-day operation running smoothly. There's no company inside Egypt that doesn't require a kind of a technologies or infrastructure that has to do with links or data connectivities, computers, support from finance and accounting perspective, L&D coaching, such a kind of activities, or furniture or anything like this. So I believe we are looking after a catalog that can fit for people that can pick 1, 2, 3. People can pick 1, 2, and each one will have its own package with its own revenue portfolio.
Yes,
Am I answering your question or?
Yes, it's clear, yes.
And my only last question as we close out the day today is in that catalog and giving them all of that information, where do you gain the information about what they need so you can have it available? Is how do you create that data so that you can translate it into something that's usable by the customers by the MSEs? So SMEs, excuse me. So just a thought that you might want to consider. And with that, I don't want to keep anybody too long. I want to thank everybody for this different and innovative way to look at a challenge. You can do this in your teams, by the way. If you're doing a meeting, you can separate your teams into 3 groups: a presenter, someone who plays the shark, and someone who sits there and says, you know, this may not be a bad idea, but sees it different from the presenters. And in that way, you get a 360-degree view of the project. I'm going to ask you to continue your conversation with each other. Know that we are going to be doing these presentations in May, and that you want to consider all of the questions that we heard today, particularly those about budget, time length, ROI, and still I got to go back to my favorite one that I did not anticipate till I heard it today, and that's business owner. We're going to get together next week for a speaker, and then you're going to see some dates coming your way for speakers in April. And those will probably be our last set of speakers before we really start focusing on the presentation and getting ready to present to the executive panel. Want to thank you very much for your energy today. It went really fast, and that means that everybody's engaged. So thank you very much for that. Any last comments from anyone?
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hey, teams, you worked hard.